The Marvel Cinematic Universe, a universe that people have grown to love and care for since it was created. People have been wanting to see where this universe keeps on going, how it keeps on building. Regardless, you can't deny the impact that the MCU has had for such a long time at this point, still cranking out movies, still getting fans excited to see what comes next. And well, fans were very much nervous on how this particular character would go under a new regime, if you will. And yeah, we're just hoping for the best. Please, can we get something good for this character and not something that could be safe? 'Cause I don't want that. Nobody wants that. Ryan Reynolds wouldn't want that.
Want to do some cocaine?
Hey, cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
What about Bolivian marching powder?
They know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Even snowboarding?
Even disco dust.
White girl interrupted?
Even forest bump.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes, but I can't.
Deadpool Wolverine is directed by Shawn Levy, the man that brought you the Night of the Museum trilogy, as well as Real Steel, his first collaboration with Hugh Jackman. And this is now his third collaboration with Ryan Reynolds, having done both Free Guy and The Adam Project. Both really enjoyable movies. I highly recommend them. And written by Ryan Reynolds, Rhett, Reese, Paul Wernick, Zeb Wells, and Shawn Levy himself. Film stars Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, Emma Corrin, Morena, Baccarin, Rob Delaney, Lesslie Uggams, Stanford, and Mathew Macfayden. According to IMDb's plot synopsis, Deadpool is offered a place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe by the Time Variance Authority, but instead recruits a variant of Wolverine to save his universe from extinction. Full disclosure, I have been with the MCU since it was created back in 2008 with Iron Man. I have seen all of them. Yes, Incredible Hulk included. I have seen them all in the theaters. I'm still watching the TV shows that are coming on Disney+. So, for the most part, I can consider myself a fan of Marvel. No matter the ups and downs as of recently, I have been there. Thick and thin, I have seen it. Now, going forward, all the MCU movies are going to be continuing on YouTube. As for the TV shows, I might try to do them. I might try to do movie reviews, maybe in the new year. But as it stands for the older movies, to anybody that's been following me since Instagram, I'm not going to do those because there's a lot. And for my sanity and for just saving me time and energy, you guys, I'm just not going to do them. I'm sorry. But if you do follow me on Instagram or would like to, the link will be in the description below. You can go check them out. They're still up. I've not taken them down or anything. And you can see how I gave my reactions to those movies. I think they still stand with where everything is. But like I said, links in the description below for my Instagram. Go check it out. Now back to the review. When Disney bought 20th Century Fox, Marvel fans were ecstatic that not only the Fantastic Four could join the MCU, which we'll see next year with the Fantastic Four First Steps, and hopefully third time's a charm, because Fox tried them, and they weren't as successful as they could have been. But that also meant the X-Men can finally join this huge cinematic universe. People have been wanting to see these groups of mutants actually finally be included in the pantheon of other superheroes and supervillains that grace the silver screens or even the TV shows. And while we're still kind of waiting on like a movie, we do have X-Men 97. As of right now, we don't have a lot with regards to X-Men stuff, but we're gonna get there. However, fans were nervous about one particular character, especially with the X-Men, and even I was nervous, and that was Deadpool. Fans feared that the Merc with the Mouth would be watered down from an R to a PG-13 rating. People were scared of the prospect that Deadpool would no longer be who he's supposed to be. He would go back to having to be safe. Even though Kevin Feige, the head of Marvel Studios, stated that Deadpool would retain its R rating, fans were still kind of hesitant about it. Even I was. Like, I'm not trying to say that Kevin Feige's a liar or anything like that, or that he's just manipulating you. It's just that people need to hear from, like, somebody who is working on the film, like Ryan Reynolds. Hopefully we can hear from him. Well, 2 years ago, Ryan Reynolds would give an update on the film through his Twitter, Instagram, his YouTube channel, Facebook. He gave an update. Not only did he reassure fans on the state of the film with regards to it now being in production, and it is going to retain its R rating, that got fans a little bit happier, and knowing that nothing's going to get screwed up, nothing's going to get messed up, everything's going to stay the same as it was. So that already got fans now back to being happy, but he got fans to be ready for this movie from day one when he said this.
Hey, Hugh, you want to play Wolverine one more time?
Yeah, sure, Ryan.
Hugh Jackman returning as Logan, aka Wolverine. Had every Marvel fan saying, I am there day one, hands down, no ifs, ands, or buts, I am there. And I'm going to be honest, that was the thing that, even though I was happy to be reassured of the R rating and nothing would be changing, that did kind of have me nervous because I really enjoy Hugh Jackman as a character. I am not doubting that. This man truly embodies what Wolverine is supposed to be. Comic book fans love him for that. And with Logan, I just thought that that was the perfect end to his tenure as the character and just kind of being a good way to kind of end out what we thought at the time would be the ending for Fox's universe. But even Jackman, as of recently, has stated that after seeing Deadpool when Logan came out, he was like, well, I kind of wish I hadn't died because that meant that I missed out on a chance to play with Ryan Reynolds, which is unfortunate. But with this opportunity, with the multiverse now opening up and going everywhere, they thought that this was a good chance for Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman to get together to actually play these characters and actually give fans what they've been asking for. And on top of that, Hugh Jackman gets to wear the yellow suit, the thing that people have been asking for years. Years, people have been asking, and they finally are getting it with this movie. 2 years and a strike later, Deadpool and Wolverine was released. Like I said, I was nervous, but kind of excited to see this, and of course, I had reservations. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I'm glad that I was actually proven wrong. How wrong was I? Watching it twice in the theaters, it really does show it proved me wrong. I actually really dug the hell out of this film. I'm very happy with how it turned out and how much it brought out a lot of cool things and bad things that fans have been asking for, even me a little bit. But people are just now happy that this movie works, and even for myself, I can say that too. So here are the positives. The performances, they're all hysterical. Once again, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. From his crude nature to his wacky side, Reynolds is just pitch perfect as always. He just brings it all every time. I don't think this man will ever get sick or tired of playing this character because he loves how much he gets to play the Deadpool that he's always wanted. And the fact that he gets to work alongside Hugh Jackman is something that he has also been wanting. But Ryan Reynolds will always be there for fans of Deadpool. I don't think he will ever get sick or tired of it. And for that, I hope he continues to play it because I always have a blast seeing him play this character anytime he's there. Hugh Jackman is brutal and emotional as Wolverine. Having played the character for nearly 2 decades, this man has been playing him since 2000. It is now 2024. He's been playing this character for now almost 25 years. He's been playing this character, and Jackman nails down every aspect of what the character is known for, at least from what Marvel readers have been saying. After all these years, Jackman just has never lost his touch. This man continues to still, in his 60s, he still manages to nail every aspect of why people love him as this character and why so many people are so adamant on why he is the best Wolverine. And while I do hope that we do get a new Wolverine, because I'm in this point now where I'm ready to move on and hopefully get new, younger interpretations of these characters, at the same time, it was great to see Jackman not only don the yellow suit, but he did get to fulfill something that him and Ryan Reynolds have been wanting, which is to work together. So I am happy. I'll allow it, but I'm really hoping for the future we can get somebody a little bit new because I would like to see that. Both Reynolds and Jackman are fantastic together. They know when to drive each other up the wall and when to bring the emotion out of one another. They are definitely the biggest reason to see this film. Hands down. If for nothing else, these two will sell you on why this movie will be loved by Marvel fans because of how much people have been wanting this for decades. People my age have been wanting it too, and they are just a good pairing. You can tell even off screen that they just are amazingly good friends. They love each other, they respect one another, and it was just great to see them actually give fans what they've been hoping for between these two characters, and they succeeded. Emma Corrin is creepy and twisted as Cassandra Nova. Corrin knows how to make Cassandra as methodical while being calm, truly making a memorable villain, another to add to the MCU. I think Emma Corrin, they do an amazing job of really establishing how much Cassandra poses Rhett in a way, but also really knowing how to kind of make your stomach kind of churn a little bit, especially when she tries to read people's minds. Very creepy and really just scary all around. I very much enjoyed seeing Corrin play this character, and one that I find myself being scared of. Rob Delaney, who played Pierre in the last film, he was part of Deadpool's X-Force crew, is still funny. Even in the moments that he was in Deadpool 2, he was funny there, and he is still funny now. Being a normal former member of the X-Force, Delaney is just a delight in the scenes that he's in. He's not in it much, but when he's there, they are hysterical. They're funny. It's great to see this member who, IB, was just kind of a joke in of itself. I mean, that was my biggest problem with the X-Force subplot, but for nothing else, I'm glad Peter stuck around because he's just funny. He's just great. He's just a lovable guy. Both Reynolds and Delaney are enjoyable. Both of them have good rapport with one another and seem like really good friends, especially with how Ryan Reynolds wanted to pay respect to Delaney's son, who had died at a very young age. His name is in the credits, and it really does show how much that these two really do love each other and really respect one another. And especially in the movie, they're Wade and Pierre, they're just good friends. They really do seem to have a good friendship with each other. Mathew Macfayden is smarmy and outrageous as Paradox, a member of the Time Variance Authority, which was introduced in Loki. Macfayden is charming but clever with going about destroying Wilson's world. He makes for a fun secondary antagonist. He's not like Cassandra Nova in that where Cassandra's scary, his is just downright evil, man. He's just like, I get like the point where he stands and the power that he kind of holds, but at the same time, it's kind of messed up on how much that he still is kind of retaining some of the things that you saw in Loki season 1 with regards to how TVA used to do things with regards to pruning things. And so he kind of retains the nature of what the TVA was known for. And I think Mathew Macfadyen does a good job of keeping audiences entertained, especially when he's just being as diabolical as he can be. The direction is versatile. Director Shawn Levy crafts a film that blends the first two Deadpool movies together while still making it his own. Levy fully embraces Deadpool's worldview to a T. Levy just knows how Deadpool works. He just knows from start to finish, okay, this is how this character is supposed to be and how this character goes about doing things. And I just feel like he saw the first two Deadpool movies and just said, okay, we're keeping this, but I want to keep it in a way that still feels like I can have my own voice and styling to it. And he does. He has his own way of how he handles characters, banters, as well as action sequences. I think he does a good job of keeping audiences engaged and going along with what this movie is offering and how much it keeps audiences entertained. The action is bloody. Every action sequence that occurs is not only badass, but from beginning to end. Pretty much at this point, the screen is just caked in blood. There's so much blood in this movie that, yeah, it definitely deserves its R rating. Because, I mean, yeah, that's the nature of Deadpool. But the action sequences are just so creative in how they go about killing people, especially Deadpool. From the beginning, which I think will go down as a memorable moment in the MCU, to the very end. The action is just so exciting to watch. The writing is witty. Writers Reynolds, Reese, Wernick, Wells, and Levy combine Deadpool's humor and violence while setting it in the same world of the MCU. They really are trying to change how the universe does an R-rated film. People were scared on how this would go because, again, this is Marvel's first attempt at an R-rated movie, and people weren't 100% sure on how this could be. But thankfully, Shawn Levy, Ryan Reynolds, and crew, they brought their A game. They brought the stylings of what the Deadpool movies worked with, and then combining that with how the MCU is doing things and just meshing it all together to make something that I think works with regards to the comedy, the humor, and the banter between characters. I think it all combines very well to make for a very hilarious and fun experience for Marvel fans. Cinematography is chaotic. Cinematographer George Richmond frames a film that can capture the action as frantic and intense as it can be. Richmond also showcased the void as a huge wasteland, of course, something that was also introduced in Loki. This giant, vast emptiness of space, places that have been pruned and destroyed, universes that have been deemed unworthy and killed. But really, just how he frames the action as intense as it can be, I think is good because of how much chaos and violence ensues, that I think it warrants how it's looked and how it feels, and I think it just blends itself well with how the other Deadpool movies also kind of go about the action sequences in different ways. The music is stellar. Composer Rob Simonson makes a score that fits the tone and stylings of what Deadpool is known for, and just like the previous films, the licensed music is perfect for the character. If for nothing else, Ryan Reynolds, I need to know, did this man talk to James Gunn a lot of the times? Because it just seems like he and James Gunn just do this thing where they know how to pick songs that fit well with the movie and how it goes about it. But to talk about Rob Simmons' score, I think it also does make action sequences intense. It also makes them feel as urgent as they can be, but also know when to kind of let that licensed music come in and kind of really fit the tone of how Deadpool likes to play it fast in the way in which the music is done, but done in the right way. The production is amazing. Compared to the previous film, the movie is much bigger and grander than ever. It has, of course, a bigger budget. From the costumes, props, and sets, it's all incredible. It's just amazing to see how much that Marvel does put into detail their work with regards to how sets should look, but also costumes. People have been dying to see Hugh Jackman don that iconic yellow and blue suit, and he got it, and it looks amazing. I know some people could say that, well, he should lose the arm sleeves, and at some point, the movie does that, but let's face it, this is as good as you're gonna get to a suit, as well as Deadpool. I was nervous about Deadpool's suit because of how the behind the scenes picture looked, and it just didn't look all that great, and thankfully in the movie, the color grading looks better, and that it does work. But everything about how Marvel goes about their productions, it's always incredible to see the amount of work and detailing that goes into the props and costuming. Pacing and runtime is perfect. The movie goes at a breakneck pace that keeps it going. With a runtime of 2 hours and 7 minutes, it's a wild ride from beginning to end. This movie doesn't have a point where it just stops everything and slows everything down to a crawl. The movie keeps on finding ways to keep itself going and engaging for audiences and to see where this movie can go in so many ways. The visuals are much better this time around. Compared to the first two films, it's just a better looking film with regards to how they use visual effects this time. CGI just has definitely improved, which is good because that was my complaint on the first two Deadpool movies, and thankfully this time around they are much better and they do look more palatable to take in. An amazing sequel, but it does fall short with me on one issue, so here is my only negative. Now, people, this is not saying that this is a terrible thing, just hear me out. My only negative is really the story. It's just all over the place. I'm not saying the story's bad. I don't think it's a bad plot, by the way. I want to make that clear. It's not a bad plot at all. But it is trying to do so many things at once. Like, it has to be a Deadpool movie. It also has to be the first R-rated MCU movie. It has to be a Deadpool Wolverine movie. It has to be a MCU movie with adding the whole, multiverse stuff. It also has to be kind of, in a way, a farewell to the 20th Century Fox universe, which, by the way, the end credits for that movie almost got me twice. I've grown up with the X-Men series as a whole, and that end credit scene works really well. Very much a love note. Real quick, thanks to Ryan and Shawn for adding that, because I very much almost teared up, and good song choice too. But I'm not saying that the movie is bad with its plot. It's just, I wish it was a little bit more tighter. I think it could have used a little bit more with regards to tightening things down, bolting them down, because it does kind of feel like it's doing fast and loose with how everything's kind of being thrown at you. Otherwise, it's a really fun film, and it makes Marvel fans rejoice in knowing that Deadpool will still continue to be like this. They're never going to touch that. Thank God, because that is the thing that people were really worried about. Deadpool's MCU movie was a success overall. Though its story can be a little bit overstuffed in how much things are kind of crammed in there, it's one that's enjoyable from start to finish. That is why I'm giving Deadpool Wolverine a 9 out of 10. I had a fun time with this. This is something that I think Marvel fans will be happy to know. At the very least, Deadpool will contain his R rating status and will never be dropped, thankfully. And I do hope the future for the X-Men going forward, or just even Deadpool, is brighter. Hope so. Please, if for nothing else, let's keep Deadpool where he's at. Now, July, the movies, they're done. They're over with. We are now moving on to August, and I didn't see a lot in August, so don't expect a lot of reviews. So I'm going to be starting my August film reviews with Borderlands. And then soon the Crow movies, the original Crow and the remake. So yes, look forward to those reviews and other movie TV show reviews coming soon.